In the tech world, there are giants, and then there are the gods who build the very heavens they walk upon. Meet the man in the legendary black leather jacket, the one whose quiet fire and relentless vision are fueling the entire artificial intelligence revolution. His name is Jensen Huang. His company, NVIDIA, once balancing on the knife's edge of collapse, has now risen to become the most valuable corporation on the planet, recently blasting past a jaw-dropping $4 to $5 trillion in market value. This meteoric rise has transformed him into one of the richest individuals alive, with a personal fortune nearing $180 billion. He's the man Mark Zuckerberg famously dubbed the Taylor Swift of tech, a figure whose influence is so immense that the entire field of AI seems to bend and shift around his decisions. But his story didn't begin in a glass-walled Silicon Valley boardroom. It didn't start with elite connections, venture capital, or a privileged upbringing. Long before he built a multi-trillion-dollar empire, long before he earned the title Godfather of AI, he was a skinny 15-year-old kid in a polyester Denny's uniform, scrubbing dishes on the graveyard shift. From the clang of plates to the hum of the world's most advanced supercomputers. How did one man see a future no one else could, and then drag it into existence through nothing but sheer force of will? This is the story of Jensen Huang's relentless ambition, his strange but powerful habits, the near-fatal mistakes that almost destroyed his company, and the unimaginable wealth born from a vision that is reshaping our entire world. Jensen Huang's journey doesn't begin in America. It starts in Tainan, Taiwan, where he was born in 1963. His early life was defined by constant movement. At age 5, the family relocated to Thailand for his father's engineering career, but rising civil unrest forced his parents to make a decision that would alter everything. They chose to send their young sons alone to the United States. At just 9 years old, Jensen and his brother were placed on a plane and sent across the world to live with an aunt and uncle in the United States. It was a blind leap of faith, a journey into a country they knew only through photographs and stories. Meaning well, their relatives enrolled the two boys in what they believed was a prestigious prep school. But the truth was far from it. They had accidentally sent them to the Oneida Baptist Institute in rural Kentucky, a reform school for troubled and delinquent youth. For a small foreign boy who barely spoke English, it was a harsh and unforgiving world. He was surrounded by older, tougher teenagers. He didn't fit in, he was bullied, he was isolated, and every single day became a test of survival. His assigned daily chore was to scrub the boys' bathroom after class, a humiliating but formative task that planted the first seeds of discipline and grit. Meanwhile, back in Taiwan, his mother, who didn't speak English herself, called her sons each night, choosing 10 random words from the dictionary to teach them over the phone. A quiet, determined gesture to build a bridge across an ocean and give her children a chance. Looking back, Huang recalls his years in Kentucky more vividly than almost any other period of his life. It was a crucible, one that forged his resilience, sharpened his focus, and hardened his determination. Amid that chaos, he found an unexpected refuge in table tennis, eventually becoming so skilled he appeared in Sports Illustrated at age 14. After 2 long years, his parents finally immigrated to America, and the family reunited in Oregon. But the boy who emerged from that Kentucky school was not the same child who had arrived. He was tougher, more driven, academically accelerated. His work ethic had already begun to set him apart. He skipped 2 grades, immersed himself in math and science clubs, and graduated from Aloha High School at the astonishing age of 16. The hardships had not broken him. They had sharpened him, instilling a deep understanding that nothing in life would be given freely. And at 15, still a high school student, Jensen Huang landed his first official job. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't a tech internship, it was something far more humbling. He started out as a dishwasher at a local Denny's, eventually earning a promotion to busboy. And this experience isn't something he hides or mentions casually. He lists it proudly on his LinkedIn profile, placed right above founder, president, and CEO of NVIDIA. To most people, it would be just another teenage job, but to Huang, it was one of the defining lessons of his life. He He speaks about it with a surprising intensity. He never saw the role as a mindless chore. He treated it like a system waiting to be perfected. "I was a good dishwasher," Huang said. "I planned my work, I stayed organized, I optimized everything." That's the mind of an engineer, breaking a messy problem into clean, manageable parts and executing with relentless precision. He learned how to manage chaos, how to stay calm under a relentless wave of dirty dishes, how to eliminate wasted motion and squeeze efficiency out of every second. And when he was promoted to busboy, he applied the exact same philosophy. "I was convinced I was the best busboy Denny's ever had," he laughed. "I never left the station empty-handed, and I never came back empty-handed." But this job wasn't really about wiping tables. It was about systems thinking, about refining processes, improving flow, and solving practical problems in real time. It became his first hands-on education in process optimization, the kind no university could ever replicate. Beyond efficiency, Denny's taught him something deeper. It taught him humility. It taught him stamina. It taught him how to handle difficult customers when emotions were high. "It teaches you humility. It teaches you hard work," Huang said. The noisy, hectic, high-pressure diner became a perfect training ground for the brutal, unpredictable world of startups. Every shift balancing coffee pots and clearing tables built grit, discipline, and an obsession with excellence, even in the smallest tasks. This job was his first unofficial MBA, earned not in lecture halls, but over hot sinks and sticky countertops. After graduating high school at just 16, Huang's ambition was already unmistakable. He chose Oregon State University, not for prestige, but because it offered affordable in-state tuition, and dove headfirst into the demanding world of electrical engineering, graduating in 1984. It was in the labs of Oregon State University that the next pivotal chapter of his life quietly took shape. His lab partner was a young woman named Lorie Mills. Among circuit diagrams, breadboards, and the smell of solder, the two fell in love. She would eventually become his wife and the unwavering partner who'd stand beside him for the rest of his life. After graduating, Huang headed straight into the beating heart of Silicon Valley. He secured a position as a microprocessor designer at AMD, then moved on to become a director at LSI Logic. He was now working inside the engine room of the computing revolution, designing the very chips that would soon reshape the modern world. But his ambition was far from satisfied. While working full-time in high-pressure engineering roles, he enrolled in night classes at Stanford University, one of the most prestigious institutions on Earth. Balancing an elite education with a demanding career was brutal, but in 1992, he earned his master's degree in electrical engineering. This fusion, real-world industry experience mixed with Stanford's technical rigor, gave him a rare and powerful perspective. He didn't just understand how to build chips. He understood why they mattered. He could see the trajectory of computing, the direction technology was heading, and the next great leap no one else was preparing for. He became obsessed with a new kind of challenge: graphics. The emerging world of 3D video games required a level of parallel computation that traditional CPUs were terrible at. Thousands of tiny operations needed to happen simultaneously, and the processors of the time simply couldn't keep up. A new kind of chip was needed, and Huang believed he knew how to build it. By the age of 30, he had everything he needed: a world-class education, years of hands-on engineering experience, and a radical idea that could change the future of computing. All he lacked was a plan and a place to bring it to life. The year was 1993. On his 30th birthday, Huang met with two friends and fellow engineers, Chris Malachowski and Curtis Preem. All three were seasoned veterans of the chip industry, and all three were convinced that the future of computing lay in a direction the rest of Silicon Valley was ignoring. They didn't meet in a polished conference room or a venture capital office. Instead, they gathered in a booth at a familiar, humble location, a Denny's diner in East San Jose. Huang chose Denny's for a simple reason: unlimited coffee and the guarantee that no one would rush them out. It was the perfect incubator for a revolutionary idea. The trio believed the next wave of computing wouldn't come from spreadsheets or business software, but from video games. They saw that realistic 3D graphics were still an unsolved frontier, and solving that frontier would require a brand new kind of chip, a graphics processing unit, or GPU. In that Denny's booth, fueled by cheap, bottomless coffee, the three of them settled on a name for their new company. They briefly considered Envision, but Huang proposed something bolder, NVIDIA, drawn from the Latin root for envy, because he wanted their competitors to quite literally turn green. And just like that, NVIDIA was born. The company's beginning was as humble as the diner they sat in. With only $40,000 in the bank, they moved to formally incorporate, a process so bare bones that Huang's lawyer asked for the $200 filing fee up front. Huang didn't have it, so he returned to his co-founders and asked each of them for their $200 share. Their strategy was nothing short of audacious. While the rest of Silicon Valley chased general-purpose CPUs, NVIDIA staked its entire future on something most people dismissed as trivial: video games. They believed that cracking the hardest graphics problems would produce a new class of processor, powerful enough to change far more than entertainment. It was, quite literally, a trillion-dollar gamble made in a Denny's booth. But the early years were brutal. NVIDIA lived from crisis to crisis, constantly one misstep away from death. Huang later admitted that more than once, the company had just 30 days of cash left. Their first product, the NV1 in 1995, flopped disastrously. The market rejected its unconventional graphics approach, draining precious capital on the wrong bet. Their next shot came with a promising partnership with Sega, who hired NVIDIA to build the chip for the Dreamcast. But after a year of development, Huang realized again that they had backed the wrong architecture for the PC market. Walking away would mean breaching the contract and losing vital funding. Huang chose to walk anyway. The fallout was devastating: massive layoffs and a near-death financial collapse. But in a rare twist, the CEO of Sega admired Huang's conviction so much that he invested in NVIDIA, just enough to keep the lights on and give them one final chance. This near-death experience forced NVIDIA into a radical new direction. They poured every remaining dollar, every ounce of energy, into a single make-or-break product, the Riva 128. And this time, they got it right. The chip was a hit, and by 1999,